If we look back to 2015, we probably all remember it as the year where the migratory movements to Europe peaked and both European institutions and national governments were overwhelmed by the challenges emerging from it. In this slide, the European Commission launched two funding programs that are directly linked to what some may have called the European migration crisis. And those will be at the heart of today's episode of Culture Beyond COVID. On the one hand, it's the Asylum and Migration Fund, and on the other hand, it's the European Solidarity Corps. So let's have a look at them and see where it brings possibilities for the cultural and creative sector. As I said, the Asylum and Migration Fund has been installed in 2015 and ever since has been supporting activities in the field of asylum, integration and migration. Until 2020, it was usually called AMF, but the abbreviation has changed now into AMF. What is important to highlight is that it is not the only funding program for these topics, as for example the European Social Fund Plus or Erasmus Plus also finance projects in these fields. Three overall objectives underlie this program, as you can also see here. First of all, developing and fostering the common European asylum system. Secondly, supporting legal migration to the European member states and contributing to the integration of third country nationals. And thirdly, reducing irregular migration and improving the effectiveness of return and readmission in third countries. Most importantly, most of this funding is managed by national authorities in the member states. The reason for this is that each state is facing very different needs and circumstances within which the AMF is supposed to support activities in line with the individual migration and integration policies. Therefore, as also the case with the EU's social funds and regional funds, the priorities of the AMF can differ from country to country. However, there is also a small part of the budget distributed by the European Commission, which is especially fostering transnational projects in the field of migration and integration. Either way, this program mainly supports national, regional and local authorities, as well as civil society organizations, and this is possibly paving the way for cultural projects. With emphasis on early integration measures, the second priority seems to be accessible for cultural and creative stakeholders. In this context, fostering the mutual exchange between the local society and the migrants, as well as facilitating intercultural and interreligious dialogue is very important. Cultural projects have proven to be very helpful and promising in this regard, as they often create innovative ways for active participation in the local community and contribute to building more solidarity, tolerance, and acceptance on both sides. Apart from this, the input of cultural and creative organizations is crucial for developing new training methods and integration programs, for example, in the field of civic orientation, language, or professional guidance. So, as you see, there are different opportunities for the cultural and creative sector to get involved with the Asylum and Migration Fund. Now, let's move on to the European Solidarity Corps. Solidarity is obviously at the heart of this program and simultaneously its main objective. It has been designed to foster social cohesion and solidarity by supporting the engagement of young people in regions that face severe crises or societal challenges. While it supports these voluntary activities on the one hand, it also invites organizations to welcome these volunteers and help them get acquainted with their new tasks. Thus, the European Solidarity Corps is sort of matching young people with places and organizations that are in need of voluntary help. There are two different ways to participate. The first strand is called Participation in Solidarity Activities Addressing Societal Challenges, and the second one is called European Voluntary Humanitarian Aid Corps. In general, the activities and areas of intervention are very diverse and range from environmental topics, youth work, or children care to working with minorities. What is important, though, is that the volunteers are only sent into areas without armed conflicts. Regardless of the topics and locations, the young people shall learn to practice solidarity and contribute to building a sense of belonging. And whatever they learn on this path shall help them to improve their civic, social, and cultural skills, and therefore it can be an important step for their future personal and professional life. For that reason, the program also aims at facilitating the participation of young people with diverse backgrounds and offers them to get involved in the following activities. As you can see here, it addresses young people in the age of 18 to 35 and offers activities in the field of volunteering, traineeship and jobs, solidarity projects, networking activities, and quality and support measures. However, apart from addressing young people, the European Solidarity Corps also calls for international organizations to host and support these volunteers. In order to qualify for that, the organizations have to get in contact with the national qualification procedure. This can also be an opportunity for cultural organizations to get involved. Furthermore, the open character of the European Solidarity Corps offers a wide range of connections with cultural and creative activities, mostly, however, in the first strand of solidarity activities. In this context, it is crucial that the main idea of the program is taken into account and the volunteering activities improve the social and professional competences of the participants, which can easily be achieved through cultural and creative projects. So, to conclude, both programs of today are rather vague when it comes to the role and participation of the cultural and creative sector. Yet, this openness can also be favorable as it allows cultural and creative organizations and professionals to establish ideas and projects in very different directions. Speaking of which, different directions are also leading us to our next episode, where we will be looking at the role of cultural projects in the EU's external relations, mainly having a look at the program called Neighborhood Development and International Cooperation. So see you next week.